It's a call for the channel to be marked and some logs, some rocks moved left by the logging days. It's a request to make the waterway friendly for pleasure boating. Comparing it to a 9-foot channel barge traffic that comes through communities brings nothing to the communities it passes. But one thing that happens down there, where there is a 9-foot channel, the Army Corps keeps it open. In turn, pleasure boaters use it, and that's how they bring revenue to their communities. Public use brings more money to the communities that these barges pass through, for the simple reason the barges don't stop unless they have an industry there. In comparison, trains have long since replaced the paddle wheelers to transport goods and people. And then we got the highway, and so trains and the highway, the river got forgotten. NSP came along and said, hey, let's generate power. So the river was pretty much forgotten. Now we've got a 100-year-old dam down there. It's in dire need of repair, and we've forgotten about the river. With the train, though, we are trying to do something now by bringing in North Star Rail. We really have tried to say, how are we going to get the train to stop here? How can we help it, make it help our communities? When comparing this to building a highway or a new road to spur the economy, we don't have to purchase land. There's no eminent domain. There's no need to take private property from anybody. There's no bridges to construct. There's no entrance ramps, and there's no exit ramps. So in my mind, it's almost a no-brainer. A shallow draft pleasure craft channel would be inexpensive and add value to our communities. I'm going to be attending the Coon Rapids Dam Commission meeting tomorrow to check on the progress of the recommendations they're going to be making to our state legislature next spring as to what to do with that Coon Rapids Dam. And what I would think is that if I could get my request to Mayor and City Councilman would be if the city could initiate some type of committee or our own commission to look at utilizing the river. I don't want you to just take my point of view. I've done a lot of research, but I know that we can get some people like Dale from the DNR and people from the Fish and Wildlife that I think would happily join some type of session up here to look at how we could use it. And at the same time, I would sure like somehow for the Coon Rapids Dam Commission to know that you as a commission feel that they should be considering how what they're doing with the dam can affect towns upstream. I put this up here because if anybody wanted to go onto YouTube and put in keywords Mississippi River elk, then this presentation will show up. And there's also a tour that I've done on there of the river, showing you where all the historical sites are and the type of thing. And it is really nice to watch and enlightening. So with that, that's all I have to say, and I'm sorry for taking your time, and I hope you found it very interesting.
Thank you so much, Jim, for coming in. Does the council at this point want to do any direction of staff, or what are you thinking?
I have a question for Jim.
Councilman Gumphrey.
Jim, how do you get the Corps of Engineers to actually look at this type of project?
Corps of Engineers has already looked at some of the proposal with me. Dale Hormouth I've communicated with quite a bit, and he's passed it on to the Corps of Engineers, and they've told me what we might have to do and what we might not have to do. And I think at this point they are open-minded if we set up a committee or something to come in and meet with us. Actually, I went to an open house for the Coon Rapids Dam Commission down in Champlin on November 17th, and it was quite interesting because I said, God, I wanted to be on your committee. And one of the guys says, God, I know who you are. And he says, as a matter of fact, your name came up as a potential person to be on our committee down there. And so, and then Dale would say, well, this is the guy that proposed that channel. He says, oh yeah. And we talked about it quite a bit. We talked about these maps. One of them was very familiar with the maps. And I was just impressed. Very, very open-minded people.
Another question is, I mean, with or without the dam, if this is something as Corps of Engineers can do from Coon Rapids to Clearwater?
They could do it, yes, and with or without the dam is a good thing. I think that we could spur our economy from Coon Rapids to here and back, that people were actually utilizing this portion of the river if they fix that dam. I think that making it the farthest destination possible from the Gulf of Mexico and the Mississippi would be far greater, but I also understand it may not happen. They did point out to me down at the Coon Rapids Dam Commission when I spoke with those people that they said even if they make recommendations to the state legislature to come up with $11 million to fix the dam, that there's a good chance they won't get a dime. And so I said, what about Plan B, guys? Let's talk about it. So that's why I want to go back and get more involved with them. But a channel would be really nice up here with the dam.
Rebecca, do you want to say a few words? Have you heard this presentation previously, or?
This is my first time here.
Okay. Yeah, it would seem to me that we would like to, look into this a little further. It certainly is very interesting, and it would be Rebecca's department that would do that. So. And
I'm wide open,
yep.
And Rebecca can get a hold of me at any time if you'd like to further meet on this.
Yeah, I'd really like to see if there's any, you're going to give us any advice or any suggestions about commissions or anything like that. It would come from your department. Yeah, great.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Gumphrey. Yep,
Rebecca?
go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. Since this was my first time hearing this presentation, I feel I need to digest some of it. It sounds like a good idea, but I do know Dale Homuth quite well, and so I'd like to talk to him a little bit more about the potential in this area and speak to our Army Corps of Engineers person and just find out a little bit more about the feasibility of doing something like this before I entertain any further ideas to the City Council.
Great. Okay. Councilman Gumphrey.
I was just going to say, President-elect John Deach should be chairman of this committee, too.
President-elect. President-elect.
You're ready to go for higher office already?
Mayor.
That's a heck of a promotion.
Yes, Councilman Moulton.
Yeah, and I think that's the right way to go is Rebecca, take a look at it before we start committing to a committee or a commission or something along those lines. Though I do know Jim has an awful lot of passion in this area. The tour he talks about, I have had a chance to look at that video. I believe it was a video or was it a slideshow?
Slideshow.
Yeah. And I think your voice was in the background telling the different spots, or was it? No? Did you do something like that?
No, I didn't do it like that. I haven't figured out how to put the sound in there.
I don't know what I heard was saying, but I could have sworn maybe it's
You're
just
probably just hearing my voice.
I'm hearing your voice from other things. So,
I think that was at the
but it is a. People don't need to know about Sunshine Depot. But it was an excellent. I mean, I sort of remember the photographs at least at that point, and it was a very good tour. And you do go all the way down to the dam and back, and it was a nice thing. So if people do have a chance to look at that website, the one that's on YouTube, I think that would be a good thing for people to see. And I think conceptually it would be a good thing. I just don't know what's all involved with trying to get something like this done.
All right, great. Well, thanks, Jim, for coming in.
Okay, thank you.